Start, 2, 1, boost ignition, and liftoff.
Underground is from the heart. A lot of people told us to get in contact with you. When you underground, you go in and you do what you feel.
Oh my God.
Circumnavigating planet Earth.
Underground Radio.
Underground Radio.
Yeah, here we are. Bang! Bang! Just like that. There we go, live.
G'day.
G'day, mate.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. Are you all right? You in pain over there? What's going on?
Yeah, isn't it the way that, like, you know, you come on air and it's
Are
all
you
of a sudden you
serious?
just have to have this massive
Are
coughing
you
fit.
serious?
Yeah, I should have brought
Okay.
my asthma pump
Okay,
with
like
me.
that's the end of your microphone, okay? And we'll just switch this on to me over here. So, okay, viewers, listeners, right up. No, you're off the show now. You're muted. We can't see you. Are you ready to come back on? I was just going to tell the listeners that we've been working on things here on the Underground Radio Show. And we were... No, you're muted. You're absolutely muted. You're off. All right. You want to come back on? I can turn your microphone on like that. And then, look, see, we can hear you now. And look, we can even see you.
I would try not to cough. I'm just on the verge of it every time I speak.
What's going on there?
Oh,
What's-
well, I've
this-
had a virus for a couple of weeks. It's not COVID, though.
You've had a virus.
I have, and
But-
I had the COVID test, and I am negative to COVID.
Right.
But my doctor does not believe that I have a virus because I had the flu vaccine this year. So I've had the flu vaccine, I've had the COVID test, which is tested negative, and then so she doesn't believe me that I have a virus. It's
Right.
just a sinus infection. But how do two other people in my house catch a sinus infection? I would like to know.
I don't know. Is that your headphones? Like, what's going on there? I'm going to turn them down.
I'm not sure.
Is it your headphones being too loud?
So what's happening, Pete? What's been happening down here? I see the studio is like black. Look at it. It's like black everywhere.
Well, what's been happening is we're ready to take things to the next level. So,
I see the next level.
yeah, the next level.
I can see things
so-
looking very different down here. I actually haven't been down here for a while
This.
because I've been on sick leave.
Are you serious? What was that?
That was I'm trying not to go.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yeah, it's difficult to talk. I gotta say.
This is crazy. This has gone from what could have been a good show to, you know, it's like having a person that you've just got out of the hospital on the show who's had operation on their larynx, and they've been on a respirator for the last 3 weeks, and they've been on a stretcher, and now suddenly they're on the radio and like.
I know. I don't really understand why I had to come back to work so soon, but here I am because I was
Okay, well,
forced to come back by the bus. The
Well-
bus has been on my case.
it was like an experiment, you know. It's like, okay, well, it's been quite a while since we've, you know, talked about the hard-hitting issues on this show.
Yeah,
The
there's a bit of
feedback that's going on down there is just sensational.
is. Actually, I had a few things I
Wow,
wanted
let me turn your headphones off.
to raise at the moment, and the best news of the day, maybe even of the whole
Wow.
year, the Kim Kardashian show, whatever that's called, is it Keeping Up with the Kardashians or something or other? Anyway, it's gonna end. How good is
Okay.
that? I've never seen a single episode, and now the show is going to end. So it's been on air for 14 years. They've had 20 seasons, something like that, and it's going
That's
to
my
end in
headphones.
2021. So there you go. And I can successfully say I've never seen an episode. I'm feeling rather proud of that.
Oh, you've never watched an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
No. So what
Right
about you,
there.
Pete? Have you seen Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
Yeah, well, it's an important part of my day.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. I watch it
I'm
quite
sure it is.
religiously every day.
Really? I can't recall you ever seeing it, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Oh, look, it's my favourite show.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely, yeah. And having not seen the show, but you know, it's not the sort of thing that I'd really be that excited in getting into. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sure there's gazillions of fans out there that are really upset about that. But I, for one, I don't care. There you go.
Right.
The Kardashians are coming to an end.
Right. How about that? I've never had this sort of feedback.
No, that's pretty interesting.
Oh, right. Okay.
And
Found
in
it.
other,
Found
other
it.
exciting
Found
news,
it.
I have some really exciting news. They have announced
Hmm.
the lineup for the Blues Festival at Byron Bay.
Oh, okay.
So, so hopefully that is going ahead. It all seems to be going ahead at the moment. So yeah,
don't-
that's fantastic.
Don't they have some new, like, local famous people from Hollywood that have moved into Byron Bay?
Well, apparently, Zac Efron's been there for a few months now, and apparently he has an Aussie girlfriend now. So whether they're just friends or they are actually dating, well, who knows? They probably are. But it's upsetting a few locals because they're worried that all these celebrities flying in are going to cause prices to just go boom. But prices
Oh, you
have
mean
been
real
booming there
estate prices?
forever.
You mean like real estate prices or like?
Yeah, real estate prices. I
Okay.
mean, Byron Bay is just, really, really expensive as it is. But you know something? The whole of Australia is overpriced.
Yeah. Right.
But if you want to know about the lineup for the Blues Festival, just go to the bluesfest.com.au website and, you can check it out. But apparently George Benson's going to be there. I have to say, I am there. I'm going to the Blues Festival because I love George Benson.
Yeah, he's a pretty good performer,
Well, he's just classic, isn't he?
George. Yeah, he is. He's one of the legends of R&B and soul, and he's sold a lot of records.
And Michael Franti and Spearhead is going to be there. So,
Oh, yeah.
Joel performed with him at the Blues Fest a few years back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we've got,
Michael Franti's good
we've got
value.
Jimmy Barnes, we've got John Butler, Xavier Rudd, the Cat Empire, Trey Casadale,
Right. Okay.
Casey Chambers, The Waifs, Weddings, Parties, Anything. That's interesting.
Right.
The Black Sorrows.
So these are all, like old school rock commercial artists and rock and blues artists, really. Is there like any underground stuff there?
I don't really know. I mean,
is there anybody performing on the bill who's not well known?
yeah, I mean, to me, they're not well known. Like, I don't know. I really haven't been following the mainstream music industry too well. I should probably follow it a bit more than I do. But Mochiba, Melbourne Ska Orchestra, they're probably pretty well known. I don't know.
Right.
Chain Backsliders, Jimmy Vaughan, John Mile, Tori Kelly, Buffy St. Marie. So I don't know who some of these people are, to be honest.
Okay.
Have
Well,
you
if-
heard of them?
Well, if they're not really well known, if they don't have recording contracts, they're technically classified as underground artists. So they're the people that we're interested in, I mean, George Benson's nice, and, the 80s rock people, it's all good to have them there. Oh, you can't hear. There you go.
No.
I turned your headphones off before because I thought you were causing the problem, Rach. I'm
I
sorry.
see.
That was me.
It was you.
Yeah. How's that?
No, I still can't. Yeah, that's better.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So when you're going up, like, always make sure you use that finger, not
Not the
not
bird.
not
Don't
that
give you
one.
the bird.
No, I might think you're trying to give me a symbol. Yeah.
Trying to give you a sign.
So at this point, might we welcome along to all our older regular listeners who are back because they like to tune into the show because they never quite know what's going to happen.
Yes, and a lot of people have been asking where we are and what is going on and when can they hear us. And we've had a lot of stuff going on family-wise. So had a few, sad family events happen recently. But yeah, and then I got sick as well. So that has not been fun. But we're back and some exciting new things coming, out of Peter's brain. He has some weird and wonderful things. I sit here and cringe often because I think, oh my
Cringe?
God. I do cringe. Some of the concepts you come up with, I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, that's pretty original, really, but it's cringe-worthy as well. But I'm just paying you out. So.
Well, I don't know. There's a difference between being nervous about an idea and cringing. Cringing is a bit like, oh, that's sort of cringing. Whereas being nervous is like, what? Are you serious, dude? You're gonna do that?
No, I would have to say I'm, between cringing and nervous.
All right.
Yeah.
Good on you, Rach.
I thought
Yeah.
you'd like that.
Yeah.
Hey, I like your shirt.
Thanks.
Where's mine?
Still at the printers.
Right.
Still at the printers.
Still at the printers. Well,
Yeah.
that looks pretty groovy.
Yeah. So we were going to be having a chat with a guest tonight, but he had meetings. So he said, actually, I sent him a message before saying, just give us a call during the show if you want to get on. So he might.
Speaking of get on, have you
Speaking
seen
of
the
getting on,
Yeah,
speaking
did you see the
Speaking
young
of
couple?
getting on, you're on the right show to get on. Yeah, right. What? Right.
Did you see the couple in Sydney during the week that have been arrested because they were selling hashish cookies and cannabis-infused chocolates?
Right.
Now,
okay. Great.
But when you saw the packaging, I mean, this was really
Medication.
professional packaging that
Yeah.
looked like it belonged in shops.
Right. So
It really did.
It was.
It was amazing. I was really impressed with the level of effort that they had put into their packaging. It was quite phenomenal.
So what were they? Chocolate and cookies.
Yeah, cookies and cannabis-infused chocolate,
Right.
so with cannabis oil.
Yeah.
And they were delivering all over Sydney.
There's a huge market for it.
But there is a huge market, and
Yeah.
it's, highly illegal, and they
It
got
is.
shut down. But
Right.
I just thought, wow,
I wonder what sort of
ingenuity.
What sort of punishment do you get? Do you get like a slap over the wrist and a $5,000 fine? Do you get like a $50,000 fine and 3 months in jail or 6 months in jail? Or does it just depend on like your track record?
I have no idea, but I guess that would be deemed drug trafficking, wouldn't it? So I'd have to say that has
Yeah,
some
but-
pretty serious consequences.
But very stylish, and I'm sure the magistrate would also give them credit for their creativity as well. They pulled it off with a little bit of style.
Well, I
haven't
thought it was, besides what they were actually selling, it was like, top entrepreneurial stuff, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a shame it was kind of, maybe not
It's-
directed quite in the right direction.
Well, it's a shame that it's illegal as well. I mean, if you can sell alcohol at the shop everywhere and the government can tax it, why don't they just start taxing chocolate and cookies and just be done with it,
I think, if they had have got the right licensing, I think they could have actually had a legal business right there, but they didn't really, have it quite legal. So, you have to go and get your license and,
Get your license for selling marijuana chocolate.
yeah, go and get your license.
Yeah.
Keep the law, the government happy, and because they like their cut as well.
Yeah.
That's normally when they shut you down, when you're not including them, because they really like tax. Yeah.
Yeah, they do like tax, that's for sure. Especially in these times as well. Like, they need to just get on board with what's popular and what can be taxed and what really won't damage society. I mean, if you look at the huge mental challenges that the whole country's facing right now due to the government constraints, something like, having a bit of a, piece of chocolate to suck on that might make you nice and relaxed and enjoy the,
Well, not only that, I
movie.
mean, if you go online, there's so much information there about Parkinson's and how it helps people with Parkinson's. There's video after video of people, being treated with Parkinson's with amazing results on cannabis oil and that sort of thing.
Yep.
And it's stopping their shaking and helping them. And it's really difficult to access here because, I had someone in the family who has had cancer, had Parkinson's, and trying to get them, that kind of help instead of them taking like the normal means of medication that really isn't working. Yeah, it's impossible. It's really, really difficult. And also, it also still has quite a, people are still pretty iffy about it. So a lot of people think it's bad and all the rest of it. But I don't think it's bad if you consider everything that,
people that think it is bad are probably people that haven't had much experience with it. It's like people who drink don't think alcohol's bad, do they? Not usually.
No. But if you look at most of the drugs that are available from pharmacies and, pharmaceutical companies, a lot of them are based on like opioids, opiates, and all that sort of thing. So, I mean, it's basically in the same realm. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so we just have this really bad, stigma attached to it. So I think it's unfortunate because it's probably even better than a lot of the current drugs and medication that's available
Yeah.
for treating, real illnesses.
Hmm.
And you can tell I haven't been on the show for quite a long time, and I haven't actually spoken for quite a long time. And
You're doing well now, though, Rach.
Am I? Because I feel like
you've warmed up. You've warmed up.
I can't
You're good.
think of words I'm trying to say.
I know
I can't. I'm just, mispronunciating things.
Speaking of thinking of words, before I throw to the next song, and then we come back and talk about shark attacks, I've got a word of the day.
Oh.
Serendipity.
Serendipity. Oh. That's quite a nice word, isn't it?
It is. It is a nice word.
I'm trying to think of what it means.
It's basically chance, coincidence, good luck.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's basically good luck. It's when something really fortunate happens to you by chance, which is basically like good luck.
Right.
So if you have a bit of serendipity in your day, could mean that you might have found $20 when you looked down the car park. You could have. I suppose that girl could have given you her number. That could be a bit of serendipity.
Is it possible for people to jinx you? Do you have any kind of little irks and things like that where, like if someone says something and you've bought a lotto ticket and it's like, damn it, you just jinxed me?
I don't believe in the whole jinxing thing.
Okay, because I am totally like, I don't have a rabbit's foot and all that sort of thing, but I can tell you, if I bought a lotto ticket and they said to me, good luck, I just freak out. I'm like, no, you can't say good luck to me. That is bad luck. That is totally bad luck. You're jinxing me. And the other thing is people asking me if I check my lotto ticket and like putting pressure on me to go check my ticket.
Okay.
That is a definite jinx.
Okay.
That is totally jinxing me. And
So-
it's like, nah.
So after they've drawn the lotto, if someone says to you, have you checked your lotto ticket yet? It's like, don't ask me that.
Yeah, you're jinxing me. Like, what the heck, man?
Okay.
So I've actually decided not to buy the lotto anymore and actually channeling money into an online bank account where I'm saving it so I can buy stocks and shares. So that's actually where I've decided to funnel the money instead.
You're
But
channeling money into an account, so you're saving.
yes, I
Right,
am.
cool.
And I've decided that, occasionally if there's a big draw, I'll have a go, but I'm not going to be addicted to it. I don't think it's good to be addicted to anything like that because it's not healthy. I mean, just to have a flutter here and there with $20, whatever. But to actually be addicted to it and be buying it every single day or, it's just not good. So trying to do, a new, healthier kind of thing.
You're not going to be able to have no addictions though, because by nature human beings
But you're
become
addicted to sport, aren't you? And swimming. Like, you can't really go 2 days without swimming, really. Or you go nuts.
Well, that helps me keep fit and balanced, and it stops me getting old.
And that's your addiction.
Well, I don't like the idea of getting old, so I'm going to
But what's the alternative?
stay young.
I think the
Yeah.
alternative is being dead, isn't it? As they say.
Well, that's the alternative. Yeah, you can. I mean, basically staying fit and healthy. I mean, becoming old and becoming decrepit, not being fit, not being able to walk up a mountain or being able to run a K or two, or just being unfit and being unhealthy and getting sick and all that. Really, it's not very appealing. And I know it can
No,
happen.
it's not.
It can happen, of course, but when you're younger and fitter and healthy, you have to do what you can to hold on to your fitness. Otherwise, you will lose your fitness. And
Well, that is very true. And, I'm seeing a lot of evidence now. I mean, I've been trying to get into the gym for a long time. For me, I need someone to help me keep accountable. I need someone to, motivate me and to be there.
Oh, this is
that
absolutely-
That person is definitely not you,
No.
let me tell you.
But this is absolutely true. In fact, what you probably need is a personal trainer,
Yes.
because do you know what?
Preferably a really good-looking one.
Yeah,
no,
sure.
kidding.
No,
No,
sure.
that is a joke.
Because what happens is you employ the personal trainer, so effectively you're their boss. But when you get into it, you're wanting to keep the personal trainer happy. You're wanting to meet their expectations and not let them down. And you want the personal trainer to feel as though, they're getting somewhere with you. You don't, and for the gains you have in your life and more energy and looking better and, all that sort of stuff.
But anyway, have you seen the 64-year-old woman in Melbourne this week who started training when she was 49, and she had a lot of health problems and overweight and tired and all the rest of it. And now she does those bodybuilding championships basically. But she looks incredible, and she feels and looks better than she did when she was in her 40s. So, but there's also that 80-year-old grandmother in the US, and she looks like. She doesn't even look like she's over a day over 50.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's fine to, look good when you get older, but I mean, you never.
It's about being strong though, and just having that strength and those muscles working.
It's about being healthy when you get older too. I mean, you're not going to expect to compete against a 24-year-old swimsuit model when you're bloody 80 years old, are you?
No, well, you don't want to, but I mean, it's about being fit and healthy.
You're not expected to, when you're over 50 or whatever, you're not expected to look as good as a 25-year-old either. I mean, you might look, 35 or whatever.
Well, I'm not saying that I want to look, 35 when I'm 80, but I'm saying I do want to be fit and strong still.
You want to be fit and healthy, and that reflects happiness. Everyone wants the same thing. Everyone just wants to be happy, don't they?
Well, I would just love to be like the Japanese that are still pottering around in their garden when they're 100 years old. So that's part of the reson why I started my garden. Yeah. And I'm out there growing stuff and looking after it.
Excellent. Hey, I've stumbled over a new artist, and I don't think they're a new artist, but they're an artist that I've stumbled over. And I like it when I stumble over an artist that I really like, so I've decided to play 2 of their songs tonight. So I'm sure plenty of people that are listening have probably heard of Day Trippers. You heard of them? Probably not. No, probably not.
I haven't heard of them, sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to play 2 songs by Day Trippers. I think these guys are highly excellent. And just remember, you heard this here on Underground Radio. Pete and Rach, the Radiotherapy Show. This is Disarray.
Fades away like money I sniffed away to stay in a state of disarray, praying I just slip away. These days I sip whiskey and stay away so you miss me. I know you've been busy, but you said to check in if I'm risky. I've been awake for days and in my haze I don't see the rage, I become it. Exit my own body and float above it. I know some nights I drink too much, but I can't survive without a crutch. I need the rush, so I switch it up and split the Dutch and twist it up. My thinking sucks, brain is fuck, try to keep it hush, but it eats me up deep in my guts. Feel it in my lungs when I see no sun, my demons run. Deleting love, free to judge any thought I try to touch. Said I need a gun, they got the right one. I can hold a grudge, but hold my tongue. I'm out of touch, out of time. Lost my grip and losing my mind. I said I'm losing my mind. Fuck.
My peace is gone since yesterday. Why has this day gone to disarray? I'm in disarray. Want each and all, it's every step I take to fall and fail. But I'm in disarray. My peace is gone since yesterday. Why has this day gone to disarray? I'm in disarray. Want each and all, it's every step I take to fall and fail. But I'm in disarray. My peace has gone. My peace has gone. My peace has gone. My peace has gone. My peace has gone.
Underground Radio with Day Trippers. Sorry about the lack of language warning at the start of that one. Of course, the content too, like everything on this show, is pretty much M15 plus. And they did mention something about suicide in that song as well. I think it's probably a pretty good time to talk about that with tomorrow, Are You OK Day coming up. I think possibly we might have a special guest on the show having a chat about that. And for all of those people that might have seen the video on TikTok yesterday, that terribly tragic video of a guy committing suicide with a shotgun. So that's what
Yes,
happened.
and there's been a blanket warning for all parents on social media to be careful because people are resharing it through all different platforms and putting cute little videos of cats and dogs before the actual video plays.
Yeah.
So I, for one, haven't seen it. I really don't like seeing that sort of thing. I know you're probably a bit different. You like to view it for whatever reason. It's not my thing. I really get. I find that terrible, obviously.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but what do you think that does to people that sees that? I suppose it just desensitizes us even further. I mean, a lot of people have said when they saw it, it just didn't look real. I think that's because we're used to seeing that sort of graphic carnage depicted in such in such a really vivid way in film production, you know?
It's sad, isn't it, that this was done on TikTok in a live stream. Obviously, who was this person? Did they have a lot of followers? Are they an influencer that's influencing a lot of young children? Like, we really have to be careful what we're being influenced by and what our kids are being influenced by. So I think that's the most concerning thing, isn't it?
I think the most concerning thing is obviously the most concerning thing about suicide, which is, of course, it's a huge mistake.
It is a huge mistake.
It's a terrible mistake that people make, and we all make a lot of different mistakes in our lives. I think we make mistakes with everything. I mean, just about every subject in our lives, doesn't matter whether it's finance, whether it's, you know, relationships. We make mistakes everywhere, but that is a mistake that you can't take back, and it's a really bad mistake to make.
Well, it's really sad, isn't it, that people are hurting so much that they feel that that's the only alternative. Obviously, we had the really sad situation this week as well. The father of a married man, young couple, he committed suicide this week, and his wife is pregnant with triplets, and they had both lost their jobs during COVID. They live here in Brisbane, and he was a cricket coach, and that's just terrible. I mean, that's just life-changing for his wife, you know, having to deal with that and give birth by herself with 3 triplets and take care of them without a job, and that's just a horrendous. So they do have a GoFundMe page, so if you want to support that, I've actually put that up on my Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's a good thing to get behind, and you know, at this time she needs a lot of love, doesn't she, and care and support from the community. Yeah, it is very sad. People make that sort of mistake and don't realize that you can reach the bottom, but there's always a cycle. There's a top and there's a bottom. And when you reach the bottom, the only way is back up again. So, you know, depending on how long you're on the bottom, you really need people to take notice. And if they can, I mean, it can be hard, can't it, if you're in another city and you've got family that are...
And I mean, it's violence. It's violence against yourself. And often these things can happen through financial pressures or through relationship problems, you know, family breakdown, relationship breakdown, all that sort of stuff when people are, you know, really hurting. But violence is not the answer. Violence does not really solve anything. Violence is like a vengeance thing. And it's not the best solution. It's not the best answer. Definitely not the best answer. There's a lot of other ways. I mean, violence is something that a lot of people would often like to do, like that person that cut you off will just like to reach through their window and punch them in the face. But that's not really, it's not becoming, it's not sophisticated, it's not intelligent. It's not anything like that. It's not something that makes us better. It's something that makes us worse. And, you know, when you do that, you're really letting the whole situation get the better of you. You're letting the opponent win, or depending on, you know, what you believe, you know, you're letting, you know, the enemy win.
But I think the thing is, I mean, if you look back at any low points in your life, and a lot of people have had them, and a lot of people have had the thoughts of committing suicide, you reach that point where you're trying to end the pain, and that is really what it's about. But the unfortunate thing is, when they're doing this sort of thing on live streaming, they're influencing, you know, kids, and there's the cluster down in Sydney of at least 6 students this year that have committed suicide at one of the biggest and best schools in Sydney.
Okay, so when you say when the people do this stuff on live streaming, like suicide, for example, are you saying that it's irresponsible of the person that does it, or you're saying it's irresponsible of the social media platform for being there, or what are you saying?
I guess I'm saying all of that sort of thing. Like, you know,
well,
I mean, the social media can't stop that, can they, if they're live streaming? But
you know what? The main media are pretty quick to jump on it and put it over Channel 9, Channel 7, Channel 10.
I haven't seen any mainstream media put it on TV.
They were referring. I saw it on the news last night. They were referring to this incident, and then all you got to do is just put into Google, you know, what happened, and then it comes up with the guy's name, and then you go to his Facebook page or TikTok. You put his name into TikTok, and you know, in no time at all, you know, you'd found it. But the main media really helped us. They love spreading this stuff. So I reckon the main media should actually be responsible to the government.
They are responsible to the government.
Yeah, but
they should be more responsible.
Well, no, they don't need to be more responsible. The government needs to have stricter legislation on the main media, because they get away with a lot of crap that I don't think they should get away with. That's just, you know, what I think.
Well, but also be careful what you wish for, because that, you know, will be applied to every form of media, won't it? So
yeah, well, yeah, there's arbitration on, Facebook and TikTok and YouTube and all those sorts of stuff. You can get your stuff removed pretty quickly, but there doesn't really seem to be much of that in TV, especially TV news. But anyway, tomorrow is
Are You OK Day.
Are You OK Day. So, again, with this day, I mean, I don't know who these marketing people are that come up with these ideas, but I don't know. I would like to have a bit of a rethink on the approach to the whole thing. I think it's a bit, are you okay? It's like, well, if someone's, not, they're probably not really going to tell you anyway. And to have one day a year, I suppose you have one day that highlights it, but, it's got to be an ongoing approach, doesn't it? I don't know. I think it's a poorly thought through catchphrase, slogan. No, I don't think it works very well personally.
I must admit, I don't know if it really cuts through and really makes you understand what they're trying to say. But I mean, I applaud them for the effort, though, because we really do need to be talking about it.
Yeah.
And, back in the day, no one did talk about it. People suffered in silence. So I guess the point is that, don't let your mates and people that you know suffer in silence if you can help it. But like you say, people won't reach out, or they won't tell you that they're in trouble.
Well,
so
I mean,
how do you
COVID deaths compared to suicide is pretty blooming insignificant. You look at the statistics. Just go on to Bureau of Statistics. Have a look at the figures, and look at the age group as well. I think it's predominantly males 25 to 50 or whatever.
Yes,
but,
it is predominantly males, which is very sad.
Yeah.
So anyway, maybe we better get off this subject before we totally freak everyone out.
Well, and the other thing too is, they reckon that I'd heard figures like the national figure for suicide in Australia will be 7,000 greater than the previous year because of everything that the government's done due to COVID-19. 7,000 more. I mean, that's just crazy.
That is crazy. That is really sad. And you can see why too, Melbourne. I mean, what is going on down there? People are protesting because it's so bad. And they're just, wow, Victorian police, what can I say? That is just, it's traumatic to watch it. And I really feel for Melburnians, Victorians, and I think this could be psychologically damaging for quite some time.
Do you reckon a lot of the cops really enjoy that kind of, power and, that bullying kind of stuff?
I don't know. You have to wonder if they're in the right job, or have they had the right training, or what is going on? Because there just seems to be a big gap in,
I saw them try to arrest a big South African guy in one of the parks, Botanic Gardens or something like that, and they went to arrest him, and the guy kicked one of the cops, and about 5 other cops jumped on the guy and put him on the ground. And then when he was on the ground, all bound up and pretty much helpless, couldn't do anything, the cop that he kicked in the beginning came around the front, jumped on him and kneed him in the face. It's like, take that, you dog. And I don't reckon that's right. And there again, that was on video. So, yeah, people like that shouldn't be in that job. They're in the wrong job.
Quite possibly. Or maybe they need further training.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I mean, the thing to remember is that we are paying for our police. Our taxpayer dollars pay for them. So is that really the way that we want our police force to behave?
No, of course not.
And who would have thought that it's illegal to have a Facebook post and promote an event where you're protesting? How about that? It's illegal to protest.
If I was in China, I would have thought that, I'd have a problem.
Yeah, but we're in Australia, so this is quite
If I was in Australia and I wanted to start a Facebook group called, the COVID thing is a scam. Come along to the park and represent. As long as you're socially distanced, I couldn't imagine that they come to my home and want to handcuff me and take me away even before the event started, saying incitement, you're going to be locked up tonight. Can't do that in this country. I'm actually surprised. Surprised.
Yeah, so it is quite surprising. And in other news this week, the Gold Coast has had a fatal rewind. A fatal shark attack.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it?
And this is at Greenmount Beach. Now, we know this beach very well. We've been going there for like 2.5 decades. So
I know.
it's really surprising.
I used to surf there when I was a teenager as well.
Yeah, and so they're saying the last fatal shark attack was in 2003, but that was a bull shark and it was in a canal. But previous to that was the 1960s on the beach. So
Well,
the last shark
yeah.
attack on the beach was in the 1960s.
Well, they're talking about the Gold Coast as well, and this part of the coast where the shark attack occurred, there's no nets there, so it's only protected by drum lines. And I think from what we've seen, drum lines are fairly ineffective, compared to shark nets. And the nets started about 800 meters to a kilometre north of where the shark attack took place. So, yeah, there were no nets there. There was just drum lines. And, yeah, the drum lines don't do a particularly good job compared to the nets, do they?
And this is actually news to me because I didn't realise that there's actually no nets there. I thought it was netted.
No, it's not.
So
The nets start about 800 metres to a kilometre north of Greenmount there.
And I know, surfing, you're quite a distance off the beach, but our children have swum there, we've swum there. It makes you think twice really about getting in the water there. And obviously it's very sad. So the gentleman that died was a longboarder, but he was a Gold Coast real estate agent and he was 46 years of age and was from Miami. So that's obviously very sad for him and his family.
Right.
Yeah, tragic. Very, very tragic. And there's been quite a few shark attacks down on the south of the Gold Coast. So the Northern Rivers region beaches.
I believe at the start of this year, all the sharks got together, they had a meeting and they said, okay, guys, it's on.
There definitely seems to be a lot more since COVID, which is weird. Why is that?
I got no idea. No idea at all. Well, there's just been a lot of shark attacks this year. But how about that footage, when Mick Fanning just punched that shark in the nose on camera in a tournament? Well,
That's terrifying, isn't it?
That's a great Aussie moment right there. But, terribly, terribly tragic what happened yesterday.
And so guess who's back in Australia? And they didn't have to quarantine.
And they didn't have to quarantine.
No, they have not had to quarantine. So it's breaking news. Hollywood star Tom Hanks is back in Queensland and he didn't have to... he didn't have to quarantine. But then you think that's probably right because he's had coronavirus already. So it's not like he's going to get it again, is it?
Well, you can catch it more than once, apparently.
Yeah, but I think that's a different strain. So...
Okay.
But anyway, he's back in town as well. So it looks like all the Hollywood celebs are coming down under.
Right. Well, let's hope he manages to spread the Vegemite on his toast the right way this time.
Yeah, absolutely. None of that,
No lathering. We
don't lather in Vegemite. It's just not done.
You just dab it just a little bit.
Yes. Plenty of butter and dab of Vegemite.
Yeah. I'm going to play another song by Day Trippers. This one's called Effective Trip. You're on Underground Radio. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Fred Heights. Go. Hit top. to fly.
Yeah.
Nobody can touch you.
I'm in my head again, but I can't find my friends. It ain't the lithium, it's Midian, and this is where the monsters live. North of Athabasca, east of Peace River. I'm walking through traffic, hoping I get there. A hypnotist in the blood moon eclipse. Prays for days in this daze, but nobody noticed that I am hopeless. Ain't a soul that can save them. Return me to the earth and I'll come back as a raven. A serpent in the dirt slithered up to this caveman and told me you were gone, world couldn't contain him. Engraven amazement in every creation, so we take what we got and frame mistakes of his paintings. The plot got riveting, I was just visiting a world so sickening. Now the beacon signaling for me to return, and I will share what I've learned while they try to diagnose the symptoms I'm exhibiting.
Life of the chain can be stopped by accident when you're tripping. Life of the chain can be stopped by accident when you're tripping. Life of the chain can be stopped by accident when you're tripping. Life of the chain can be stopped by accident when you're tripping. The wire of the
Where'd you go? Do you think you could fly?
I'm in the pines again, came here to unwind, but I can't find the road that led us here. I'm a skeleton trying to hide. Bury me alive and let the wind keep me dusty. I'll be back to haunt your dreams and show you things you'd rather not see. Untuck the nunchuck, show a buster who got gusto. For the love of underground, we only surface when the sun goes. Splatter punks on acid, shooting nukes like I'm Kane. We're a road of gargoyles, screaming pain from toxic rain. Tick the hit list to see there's anyone I missed, and slip my wrist to the fist. The proof passion still exists. Chivalry is dead when I murder, it's romantic. Staring back at myself in their eyes, I know it's madness. Fast forward the snuff tape, you gotta see the ending. With friends bugging on the couch, they might not leave the bedroom. Take them on a tour to lay on the forest floor. I told you I was twisted on my day tripping for sure.
life of the chain can be stopped by accident when you're tripping. Life of the chain can be stopped by accident when you're tripping. Life of the chain can be stopped by accident when you're tripping. Life of the chain can be stopped by accident when you're tripping. The wire of the phone.
Underground Radio, that's Day Trippers, Effective Trip. Isn't it amazing how some artists just manage to just do it so well?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's like cooking. I mean, some people just cook and their food just tastes fantastic, and other people are just really crap at it.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to be cooks too.
Well, they just have all the right elements, don't they?
Yeah.
So, I'm really excited to get them on the show. I think you should follow that up.
Yeah, absolutely. So how's it felt for your first day back in a while, Rach?
I've been trying not to cough the whole show, and now that I'm talking about coughing, I'm going to have to
Oh, really?
cough, yeah.
Really going to have to cough?
Yeah, no, it's great. Obviously, I've had a virus for the last couple of weeks, and I was quite ill in bed, and actually was probably in bed for about 2 days, just like really tired. And
Tell us about your COVID test. What was it like?
Well, you know, I think you just kind of dread it, don't you? Because they're going to stick this huge, long
That's why I'm not keen for it.
pipe up your nose. But it was actually fine. It was no problem at all.
I don't want that thing up my nose.
Yeah, I think we just, you know, because I don't like getting needles either, but it was really fine. There was no problem at all.
I could handle a needle. I just don't want that thing all the way up my nose.
But
It looks like it goes.
it just seems a bit crazy. Okay, we have to go and have COVID testing, but I really didn't have, you know, a lot of the symptoms. One of which is having a fever. I've not had a fever at all, but I've been really tired, having dizzy spells, just had a chest infection, you know, sinuses, sore throat, coughing, sneezing.
I reckon you've really warmed up to it tonight. I was really concerned in the first 30 seconds there. I thought, oh my God, what have I done?
I thought I was going to die.
It's like...
I thought I was going to die, but I've made it through. So
Yeah.
I'm alive. That's all good.
I feel like I needed to get the show back.
I think I really should have brought my asthma pump with me, though. Sorry, guys.
Asthma pump.
Yeah, I can't find it at the moment. It's up
Okay.
there somewhere in my medications. But, yeah. So yeah, no, it's been good, and I'm hoping to be completely over this virus very soon. So I don't know if it's the swine flu or a cold or whatever it is, but it was severe. And I had the flu vaccine this year, so it's quite bizarre. Not very impressed, guys.
Hey, can we play a random game?
A random game.
Yeah.
Sure, Pete.
Okay, so let's just pretend we're in 2025.
2025.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a scary thought.
Okay, all right. So here we are, Rach, in 2025. You know, I was just thinking to myself, Rach, before, remember that coronavirus thing back in 2020?
Oh, I know.
I mean, you remember they closed the whole economy. You remember what it was like, and we were locked up in our homes there? Oh, gee. I mean,
yeah, I mean, we had no idea what was coming, did we?
No, we just didn't, did we? But
oh my
yeah,
gosh.
Sure enough.
Please no.
Sure enough, those that wanted to get vaccinated got vaccinated, and it just sort of it's just like the swine flu. It doesn't even make the media anymore. I mean, people are still getting it. It's still out there, but it's not now. Let's replay this in 2025, Rach, all right? In 2025, we'll replay this moment.
Okay, I was going to play another game.
Okay.
Well, not really a game, but I was going to ask you, what is a fascinating true story that you've heard recently? It could have happened to you, could have happened to someone else. A true life story that has happened in the past week.
Really fascinating.
Yeah, or just maybe, doesn't have to be that fascinating, but just a true life story, and you think, wow, okay.
Okay. Somebody I know broke their arm, and they're going to have quite a few months off work, and it's a really serious situation. And they tripped on a hazard in a private business, and
That sounds nasty.
yeah,
That sounds painful, actually, breaking your arm. Youch.
Yeah, so bad stuff can happen. So just watch where you're walking, people. That's my advice today is watch where you're walking. Watch those.
Sometimes you can
stairs.
actually be watching where you're walking and still trip over, because I've had that happen as well. I was on the Gold Coast at a service station, and I was looking where I was going, and I still tripped on. Yeah, this basically, they had a line, and it just went up at this kind of strange random level, and
Right.
I really did my ankle, and it was really, really painful. So,
Yeah.
but I was actually watching where I was walking, so very
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
So I have a true story.
Yeah.
So this week in France,
Okay.
an elderly gentleman who was in his 80s sat down to have a meal and blew up his house. Because, obviously it sounds funny, but it's not really that funny, because it happens to be a relative.
Oh, someone related to you.
Someone related by marriage to me has
Right.
blown up their house in France while sitting down to have a meal. So what happened was they sat down to have a meal, and there was a fly buzzing around, just totally annoying him. And so he decided to get this ratchet, which is actually designed to kill bugs.
Right.
Some kind of electric device, and didn't realize that he had gas leaking in his kitchen. And so he's trying to kill the fly and blows up his kitchen, and is actually very, very lucky not to have really serious injuries. So I think he basically escaped with just a burn or something on his arm. But it was all over, like the BBC sent this out as world news. So this has gone around the world for this poor elderly gentleman, which is terrible. His poor family are distraught. They live 400 miles away, and they've offered for him to come and stay with them. But obviously he can't, because his wife is actually in a hospice, I believe. She has Alzheimer's, and she has stage 4 cancer.
Right.
So she is dying. So he does not want to leave her. He can't stay in his house. So he's been staying in a campsite, which he can't afford because he's a pensioner. So I've also put a link to another another GoFundMe page. So if you want to help out this poor elderly gentleman who needs to get his house fixed and stay in a campsite, and he's a pensioner and his poor wife is dying, please get on board with that as well, because that is on my Facebook page as well. And as funny as it sounds, which it does sound quite hilarious, it is, very serious. The poor man. Yeah, so that's a interesting, terrible, hilarious story all in one.
Wow. That's pretty tragic.
It is tragic and funny at the same time, but it is very tragic. And, the poor man living by himself, not realizing he had a gas leak. I mean, that could have been really, really, that could have been life-threatening, really. So it's quite serious. And he destroyed his house too, so terribly sad.
Yeah. I can remember once throwing back in the day when we had, you remember those phone books, the big heavy phone books?
I do. I actually remember the day this happened. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, go on.
When we were living in Sydney, and they do have some big huntsmans.
Oh yeah,
where
these things can be the size of dinner plates, man.
So this is a massive big creature, and I just didn't want to deal with it.
No.
So
and we had 12-foot ceilings too.
Yeah, so I chucked a Yellow Pages at the creature, and it missed the creature and just put a hole in the wall.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Funny, not funny.
Yeah.
And because it was 12-foot ceilings too, we had to put like a piece of A4 paper over the top of it because it was a white wall, so that because we couldn't fix it and we couldn't see, so we had to put that piece of white paper over there so that when the real estate agent came through, they wouldn't notice. So that did seem to work, thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, funny story.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much it for tonight, Roach. Pretty much it for tonight.
That is. Well, my first night back and I've survived, so
yeah.
Awesome. I'll go get my asthma pump and cough away off air.
That's it. Everything's about the time out. I want to finish off with one more music video too. This is The Good People and Shah the Analog Bastard, the Feel, featuring Master Ace. Yeah. Another great track. You heard it here on Underground Radio. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great night. Peace. See ya.
Me, but can't deny my legacy, son. On these tracks that I run, from staying fit with the real shit, exercising alive on any run-ups, popping up and popping off like a gun up. Super efficient with the move lyrics. That means I enter your soul and move spirits. Tarnish your title like you played for the Astros wherever you go, so it affects how your cash flows.
I can feel the sun shining on my future days. Sometimes life surprises you in unusual ways. I'm not poised to blow due to my musical taste, so we took this junkyard and made it a beautiful space. It's been a good run. At times we were losing the race. The comeback kids are now grown and we're choosing our pace. Forget first place or gold, I'll enjoy the journey, and later on look back like a 30 for 30.
Feel what I feel when I feel what I'm feeling. The good people are here. This is my shine. This is our shine. This is our shine. This is our shine. So feel what I feel when I feel what I'm feeling. The good people are here. This is my shine. This is our shine. This is our shine. This is our shine.
Yeah, you can feel it, filling up the hole in your spirit, penetrating your soul when you hear it. That means love is in close proximity. This is that don't stop energy, feel the connection, and it's stamped with the seal of protection. This is how you heal an infection. This is lifeblood. This the antidote for the nightclub, the filament inside a light bulb. We make it work, but it ain't free labor. And what we worth? Something like Lee Majors, neighbor. Whole nation of $6 million men. That's a good place to begin, yeah. But when the rubber meets the road like a firestone, every narcissist gon' die alone. Find a quarantine quiet zone. This is real rap shit, something you should try at home.
Feel what I feel when I feel what I'm feeling. The good shine. This is our shine. This is our shine. This is our shine. Feel what I feel when I feel when I feel what I'm feeling. The good people are here. This is my shine. This is our shine. This is our shine. This is our shine. Silent but large power like I'm running a country. You don't know the rum on my reach when I get hungry. I'm never like a sofa that's comfy. Gotta be aggressive like the engine of a Humvee. But then I'm doing the Humpty skating off. Back to the lab to go opposite of soft. Drifting like a locomotive to keep the pressure on. Training myself to balance and never measure wrong.
You dead wrong if you said you saw me falling off. Song for songs to beat down, then they haul them off. Pause then cough, the live show is not for the soft. We light it up and burn it down like a Molotov. All in all, the good people's equals quality. Solemnly swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but honesty. Shaw the analog keeps a knocking till you wobbly. Shout to Carter P, Harvard City, and Monopoly.
Feel what I feel when I feel when I feel what I'm feeling. The good people are here. This is my shine. This is our shine. This is our shine. This is our shine. Feel what I feel when I feel when I feel what I'm feeling. The good people are here. This is my shine. This is our shine. This is our shine. This is our shine.
Feel what I feel when I feel when I'm feeling. This is our time. This is our shine. This is our time. This is our shine. Feel what I feel when I feel when I'm feeling. This is our time. This is our shine. This is our time. This is our shine.
Underground Radio.
.com.au.